What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Fighter goes off on Dana White after USADA split. The UFC's decision to part ways with USADA has generated more than a few discussions regarding the future of drug testing. Despite heavyweight veteran Mark Hunt recently losing in court to the UFC, he took to Instagram with a message for Dana White, predicting that the next year will see the UFC lose a number of fighters. He wrote, "I give you a year, Dana White, UFC, before you are no more. You can't keep ripping fighters and their families off. The exodus from you criminals is already starting." The way that Dana White sees things, USADA has handled things poorly as of late. On Friday, White spoke to reporters at the Apex to take aim at USADA CEO Travis Tygart and the statement that was released which made references to unapproved peptides and testosterone.
Yeah, listen, this guy went full Britney Spears and lost his mind. Get ready. You're probably gonna see this guy on Instagram dancing with knives, probably in the next 2 weeks or something. He went nuts. He lost his mind, and it is what it is. It's whatever.
With the relationship between the two sides totally fractured, it seems unlikely that this is the last time White takes aim at USADA and Tygart. Next up, let's take a look at Dana White praises Islam Makhachev before rematch. While many fighters would have wanted time to train for Alexander Volkanovski specifically, Islam Makhachev didn't hesitate to accept a short notice fight. During a recent media scrum this week, Dana White sung Makhachev's praises while referencing a quote in which the champ stated, "What does this title represent? It means you're the best in the world, and if you're the best in the world, it doesn't matter who's standing across from you. What do I say? No, never. Let's do this." In reference to the quote, White stated on Friday,
I swear to God to you guys, I got to find out if it's up yet, but I called the team yesterday. I said I want Islam Makhachev's quote in the Apex and I want it in the PI. It's going up on the wall. That's how much I love this.
The first time the two fought, Volkanovski proved that he has what it takes to hang with Makhachev on the ground. Heading into the rematch, his coach, Craig Jones, believes that he will disprove the mystical art that is Sambo. He spoke on Submission Radio to give his prediction.
Most martial arts were killed in 1993. Somehow Sambo has limped and lingered on to 2023. So Volkanovski kills Sambo and we get to stop hearing about this Russian dance art.
Of course, unsurprisingly, Volkanovski's longtime friend, Israel Adesanya, is on his side heading into the contest, as he predicted while speaking with YouTube channel The Rock.
I feel like he's going to stop him on this one. But again, this is me. I'm biased. But, if I could bet, which I'm not allowed to, if I could, I know who I'm putting my money on. Yeah.
With the stylistic grappling battle right around the corner, the big question is whether or not Volkanovski can make things as competitive as last time on such short notice. Now, let's shift gears and take a look at UFC fight updates. Heading into the weekend, a number of new fights were added to upcoming cards. Without further ado, let's jump right in and take a look at today's UFC fight updates. Starting with a UFC 296 clash between Alonzo Menifield and Dustin Jacoby, which will see Menifield look to build on a 3-fight victory streak, while Jacoby will look to build on an August victory over Kennedy Nzechukwu, which snapped a 2-fight skid. Next up, we have 2 fights added to the UFC 297 card on January 20th. Including a thrilling clash between Chris Curtis and Marc-Andre Barriault, which will see Curtis look to bounce back from a no contest with Nasruddin Imavov after an accidental clash of heads back in June, while Barriault will be looking to build on a 2-fight win streak. The card will also play host to a clash between Malcolm Gordon and Jimmy Flick, where Gordon will look to snap a 2-fight skid that recently saw him miss weight for a March clash with Jake Hadley, while Flick will be looking to snap a 2-fight skid of his own that has seen him go winless since 2020. This week also saw the UFC sign light heavyweight Umar Sy, who recently extended his unbeaten streak to 9-0 this summer with a first-round finish of former UFC veteran Ildemar Alcantara. With the UFC eager to return to France, it's safe to say that French fans will be eager to see Sy compete the next time the Octagon heads to Paris. Next, let's take a look at Michael Bisping defends Charles Oliveira. Hall of Famer Michael Bisping recently defended Charles Oliveira's decision to withdraw from his scheduled bout with Islam Makhachev after suffering a gruesome cut on his eyebrow so close to the fight. During a recent video for his YouTube channel, Bisping defended Oliveira for playing it safe rather than going into the fight with stitches.
If it is a bad call, 2-3 weeks away, 2.5 weeks, yeah, listen, you can't compete like that. You can compete with injuries, but a huge cut on the eye, I mean, that's going to be bad. It's going to open up straight away, and that's going to be it. Or maybe he even gets out there and the UFC pull him from the fight straight away.
With Oliveira out of the fight and Justin Gaethje waiting in the wings as the #1 contender, many fans have theorized that the UFC could wind up having Oliveira compete against Mateusz Gamrot before giving him another crack at the belt, given Dana White's frustration with Oliveira and his team. With the former champ likely unable to train at 100% until his eyebrow heals, fans will have to wait until 2024 to see him return. Next, let's take a look at Conor McGregor calls out YouTuber. Conor McGregor once again called out YouTuber KSI this weekend amid the content creators' clash with Tommy Fury, much like he did earlier this summer. The former champ took aim at KSI once again this weekend, writing in a since-deleted tweet, "You know what? Me and KSI is an exciting fight, a juicy encounter. I used to call them Nixers back when I was a plumber. Now I'm on the Lamborghini yacht, and he's in a Huracan." McGregor also shared that he was impressed with Dillon Danis' performance against Logan Paul, despite the grappler's inability to put together any sort of efficient offense against the elder Paul brother. In another since-deleted tweet, McGregor wrote, "I was impressed by Dillon Danis," which earned him plenty of criticism from the MMA community. The event as a whole left many scratching their heads, with Jorge Masvidal calling the event a quote-unquote disgrace to boxing after Paul's win over Danis and Fury's narrow victory over KSI. UFC vet Jimmy Manuel also seemed unamused by the display, writing, "Is UFC still on? Hopefully I can watch some skilled fighters." So far, no word as to what's next for Danis. However, from the sounds of things, there's little interest in seeing him compete in boxing again. The MMA community roasted Dillon Danis for his fight last night against Logan Paul. Here's what the fans had to say. "Keyboard warrior doing what he does best. Your head was already on Twitter during the fight. What can I post? What can I do to make a meme? Instead of actually fighting. Bro, you're only making yourself look worse." Dillon, when he realizes his fans aren't even his fans, they're just all Logan's haters. And here come the excuses. You're actually embarrassing. Your whole game plan was to not get knocked out because you knew you had no chance of winning. You're officially the biggest keyboard warrior known to man. Top comments. "You know Conor is obliterated when he posts via voice note. I miss when Conor was funny and could stay sober for more than 12 hours. A boxing match with two people that can't box, worth a damn. And yet, they made more than most actual fighters can dream of. What a world." Dealer, how much coke you want, Conor? Conor, all the coke, yeah. Make sure to leave a comment and you might get featured in our next video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to never miss any MMA news. Check out our video from yesterday if you missed it. See you tomorrow.